How good does it feel to get this group to Omaha?
Really, really good. It's every group is different, every team's different, and as a coach, you like it yourself. You want to go back because it's what you do, but it's like you want to get every group there. You want to get this group there. There's some seniors that are never coming back. There's some guys that are going to get drafted that aren't coming back, and this team, they seem to want it so bad. And I was actually worried yesterday. They wanted it so bad. I was worried about their nerves and where they were going to be. And sometimes you want something too bad and you can't relax and play. So anyway, really proud of this group. They've gone through a lot of stuff I haven't even talked about because I don't like to talk about stuff. But this group's gone through so much. To get this group there has been really special for our staff.
I know you said last night on the broadcast you're not much of a revenge guy, but for the guys that were on this 2021 team, for them that are still here to get back to Omaha, does it feel like you're kind of righting a wrong for them almost?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I'm not big on revenge, chip on my shoulder. I'm not that kind of coach. Doesn't mean I don't still harbor real bad ill feelings for a couple guys there, and hopefully I'll see them this week. But what happened in 2021 was a travesty. Anybody with any kind of responsibility or anything that they're in charge of for kids that can do what they did to the 21 team, they should have immediately resigned, in my opinion. They shouldn't still be working there. But so what happened? But revenge doesn't get you anywhere, except bitter in your own feelings, and just it doesn't get you anywhere. But I'm sure with this 21 team, this is special for them. Matter of fact, Dalton Feeney called me right when we pulled up, and he took a brand new job yesterday. His first day on the job was today, and he told his boss he wouldn't be there Friday. So it's my boss. I've never seen anybody do it quite like that. But it's that 21 team. I said, "Are you gonna move back to North Carolina?" He said, "It depends on what everybody else does. I'm gonna see where everybody lands, and then I might come back to North Carolina." That group is so close. And Trey Turner texted me last night with some things that I can't really say, but he texted me last night, and he said all his teammates were on a group chat last night, all night long throughout the game. So that's what this program has brought for so many of our former players, and that's gratifying to me. But yeah, this is for me. This is special for this group.
It's been a banner year for NC State athletics. Talk about how it means to be a part of just sort of this history with all of the athletic teams making history this year.
Well, it's just when I got off the bus, I saw the first person I saw was Wes Moore. Wes Moore's been one of my closest friends here, a mentor. We run things by each other all the time. When he texted me the night before last, I said, "I wish I had you on the bench to be the bench coach for tomorrow night, because it's going to be tough." And you just build relationships. Dave Doran sent me a long video last night that I played about 3 o'clock in the morning. He sent me a long video last night, and just you're happy for all the team's success here. And this has been, I've been a part of the school for a lot of years as an assistant and as a head coach, and I used to always call the glory years the 70s. I thought that was the glory years for all our sports programs, and this year seems to be similar to what I remember in the 70s.
You talk about all that people have gone through, or those players from 2021 have been through, all the things like that. But what about all the things that Elliott Avent has been through, all the things that you've seen done? Just, losing your dad before the 21 season, all those kinds of things have been around you all this time, and you're always playing for, all of those things.
Yeah, everything I do, and I told the players last night I wasn't worried about the nerves. I talked to them before the game, and I said we all go through nerves, whether you're 68, whether you're 18, or I said whether you're 28 like Logan Whitaker. But I said we all go through the same nerves before a big game, and what I do is rely on things. I rely on all the hard work our staff's done all year, and I look around at them. That kind of relaxes me, calms me. Y'all can look at your teammates, and that'll give you some comfort and some ease, because you want to win for other people. You don't want to win for yourself. You want to win for other people. And you talk about my dad. I lost my dad for the 21 season. I lost my mom the year after, and but I carry, I got something of his that stays in my back pocket for every game. That something of his that I got at the end, and that means a lot to me. And I actually wore one of his the old T-shirts that
Mm-hmm.
we wore in the old days. What do you call those things? They got a name, and it's a bad name, but they got a better name. But
Wife
anyway,
beater.
well, y'all said it, I didn't. But I wore that, and I wore a shirt that he wore all the time for our games. So I wore that underneath the uniform.
Did Hugh Shelton really call you before the game?
General Shelton. How about this? So, General Shelton's health's been good and bad, and but you can always tell how a person's doing with their voice. So, I think it was the night before last. I'm sitting there. It's like late at night, like maybe 9:30, and I see General Shelton's name pop up, and I'm afraid it's going to be his wife. I'm afraid it's going to be Carolyn, and maybe he's taking a turn or something. I answer the phone, and General Shelton sounds like he's 50 years old again, and we talked for a good 20 minutes, and he sounded awesome, and he's just so proud of the team and so proud of the university that he spent so much time with, and he's done such a great job with his leadership for him, and we had such a great conversation. But yeah, that meant a lot to me, and some of the texts you get today, I think I got 475 last count. I was trying to do work on the way back on the bus, and you keep getting these texts, which means so much to you from a lot of people, but so many texts from people that I haven't talked to in so long, and it's just people that are special. And I guess what it showed me is, anybody can send a text, but the main thing that it showed me is everybody in the state of North Carolina and through the country were watching that game last night. Everybody was aware of that game. It was the only game on TV except for the Stanley Cup, which is pretty big. So I don't think anybody in Canada was watching our game, but it's so many people. This game meant so much to so many people, and that's the thing I'll take from it.
Were you already planning to wear camo last night before you paid homage to General Shelton?
Yeah.
Are you worried at all about the quick travel turnaround?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I told them last night we're going to leave at 8 o'clock in the morning, which, we want to charter out there. I mean, sometimes the NCAA, I know you have to have set rules, but then you got to have, some kind of sensibility when you make things. I think West Virginia, when they came here to play Carolina, they were 8 miles over the 400 limit, so they got to charter. We were 40 miles under. You know what I'm saying? And so we had to take a bus. So taking this bus after a Monday night game, getting back, you have to turn around and leave tomorrow. Really tough on these guys, and that's where you need to make better decisions.
What will you do to try and help that recovery? What will you do to try and, is there anything you can do?
Nothing I can do. They got to party all day long. Nothing I can do.
For half the field in Omaha to be from the ACC, what does that say about baseball in this conference?
This conference has always been that. This is what people will point to when half the field is from the ACC. But whether that happened or not, it could have been 5. If we lost last night, it's 5-3. If Clemson won and that was a heck of a game. If anybody saw that Clemson-Florida game, Clemson wins that series. Now it's the reverse for the ACC. So I think people always point to the end, but I think I look at consistency. I don't look at final results a lot. I'm a consistency guy, and I look at overtime. And over time, the ACC has been one of the top leagues in the country without question.
I asked Logan about the journey that he's gone through, everything that has led to have 2 games, his last 2 starts be series clinching wins, and for him to be able to head to Omaha, and that's where his journey is going to end. What does it say about the journey that he's been through to get to this point now?
Yeah, and I've said this over and over and over, Corey. I've said this over and over and over, but I'll say it again. Logan Whitaker epitomizes everything that an athlete or a person just in life should do. Everybody basically gave up on the kid. He went through so many surgeries, so many setbacks for 3 years in a row that people just said, hey, probably not going to happen, And Logan didn't give up on himself. And if a person doesn't give up on himself, how can anybody else in life give up on that person as long as they don't give up on themselves? So every time I see Logan toe the rubber, I think about, Jimmy V and that statement that Jimmy V made, don't give up, don't ever give up. Our school, that's our motto, that's our theme, it's our legacy, but it's something we live by. And I think kids attached to it. I know Trey Turner, when he and Kristen started the pediatric cancer game, which we started this year, and it'll be something we do every year, and it's going to be run through the Jimmy V Foundation. That's because of the impact that Jimmy V, when they saw him on TV, and they didn't get to know him, but they saw everything he did, he touched their lives when they were here as student athletes. And that saying lives on and on and on, and it means so much to me. But yeah, Logan epitomizes that as much as anyone.
Initial impressions of Kentucky?
I don't think everybody's good at this time of year, and they're good. We watched our game over on our bus on the way back. We watched our game over, and I think the other bus we had two buses, may have been watching Kentucky, and they're very good. They play a little bit of small ball. They're one of the teams in the SEC that plays probably more small ball than the rest of the teams do, and they got great team speed. Got a great team. I actually saw them play a couple times in the regional, so they're very, very good.
Elliott, the camo uniforms were mentioned earlier. How do you decide on which uniforms to wear, and are some of them superstitious to some of you?
Everybody in baseball is superstitious, you know that, and I always ask the starting pitcher. And it depends on what the other team is wearing. So, you know, we had the same color as Georgia's. And I grew up not liking the black jersey. That's the thing the players love. I grew up red and white, and I'll never forget the dunk hanging on the rim. And we lost that game in Maryland. So, but our players love the black jersey, and people throughout the country do. So I kind of eased up on that. But so they were going to wear black one game, camo one game, and the white vest. And obviously we played in 2 days in temperatures that were pretty tough and really, really hot. And so you try to measure that a little bit. But I think Sam picked the black for Saturday, and then Fred wanted to go with the white vest, and Logan, I think he pitched in the camo here when we wrapped things up for the regional, so I'm sure that's why he chose that.
Elliott, you seem to care a lot about your young men. They seem to care a lot about you. When you see a realization, like a goal achieved, like when that ball's up in the air and they make that last out, just kind of, can you describe that feeling, sir?
Yeah, so I watched Brian Adams make that same catch here. Matter of fact, I'd like to know the time. I keep thinking about it. I know it was late at night because we had like a 2-hour rain delay, and 17 inning game we beat Rice and went to the World Series, and Rice had that great pitching staff. And I was worried after the comeback, you know, after the start over, I was wondering how many people would be here, and it was packed again. I couldn't understand that because I know it's very, very late at night, but I can still see Brian Adams catching that ball in left field. And yeah, I watched that thing go in the glove. I was hoping Eli didn't get too excited and try to do something like slam it or whatever, and do something crazy. Just catch the baseball because he people like to do things with a flair. We got a lot of bat flips and a lot of stuff in the game now that can cause some problems in the fundamentals of the game. But I was glad to see him put that one away. Well, I'm good. Let them. They stay here all day. I can stay here all day. You don't have to cut them off.
So you talk about the continuity you have. You have a lot of new players here, there all the time. But Chris Hart's been here for all of your World Series appearances. Can you talk a little bit about him and what he's meant in your program?
Ooh, oh God, what he has done. And I told his daddy last night in his lobby. His daddy comes up and gives me a big hug. Says, "You're such a great coach. My son's learned so much from you." I'm like, no, your son. He basically does so much here, and I'm not just talking about the recruiting. He's in charge of recruiting and does all the recruiting. Matter of fact, he's got a recruit in town tonight. He's unbelievable. But what he does as far as running the offense and practice and all that kind of stuff, it's just I love to watch him work. And one of the two reasons I hired him: one is because Eddie Biedenbach told me to. So that's the first reason. Second reason, he's played for Mike Martin, who's one of the great coaches of my lifetime in college baseball. So those are the two reasons that Chris Hart's here today. And he's turned down so many jobs to be loyal to NC State, jobs paying much, much more at places that might be easier to recruit with better facilities, and he's turned them all down to stay here. And I could go on and on about Chris Hart.
Again, mentioning about the kids, this seems like a selfless team. Is this one of the more selfless teams you've had in your tenure? And how are they? Do you see a lot of playing for each other instead of playing for themselves?
That's what you try to build to, Rob. They haven't always been that way this year. Now, this is a sport. We're in a sports cycle right now where everybody plays for themselves now. They all got agents, okay? They're all seeking NIL money, okay? Everything in society is telling players today, be about yourself. Don't be about team. So everything society's doing now is not helping these players be better human beings, more productive in society, and better teammates. So it's harder to get to that point. But yes, we got there, but it wasn't like that always, because we teach these kids, we teach them all to be about ourselves. And that's what we're doing today, and I hate that, but I always tell these guys, They're bigger, stronger, and faster than any athletes I've ever seen in my lifetime of this generation. The only thing they need to understand is how to be a great teammate and how to a work ethic. Because you were forced to have a work ethic back then because you didn't have a lot of choices. You were forced to dig in and make something work when it looked like it might not. Now you have options, and anytime you have options in life, we tend to turn around and go somewhere else, and I'm not sure that's the best thing in society.
Did you go to any of the bell tower celebrations for basketball? Were you in the middle of, too much in the middle of baseball to do that?
Too much in the middle of baseball. Watch them on TV, too much in the middle of baseball.
And
None of
say,
your
was that a
players said that.
motivating? Was any of that a motivating factor for some of the guys? No.
That doesn't, no. They'd love to see the bell tower lit red, don't get me wrong, so do I. Whoever came up with that, what a neat idea, right? So that's awesome. But everybody likes to see that, and I love the bell tower because what the bell tower means to me is what it was built for.
Yeah.
Men and women that died in World War I, and that's who it was built for. And that's what it means to me because I got a great respect for the military. And anyway, that's what that means to me. But seeing it lit up red, I think is pretty cool.
I meant more so the success of the other teams, seeing them go as far as they did. Was that
I think
a motivating factor at all?
anytime there's winning going on, there's more a sense of urgency that I want to be a part of that too.
Mhm.
And anytime there's losing going on, you can fall into that doldrum a little bit too. So yeah, it all helps.
Thank you for your time, sir.
No, thank y'all for waiting for me. It was just so many people.